Greetings, everybody. This is Joanna from Universal Love Light and Joanna's Multidimensional Ascension Healing Systems and coaching and all that we do and all that we offer. I just wanted to remind everybody, thank you so much for always tuning in and connecting with us and being a part of this beautiful sacred tribe. Knowing that we are Christic beings coming to life in new ways. We're always reinventing ourselves. We're always reemerging as new beings. And this is what this beautiful full moon means. Is releasing all that has been veiling us in the essence of who we are as pure source light. So we're going to have a really special and very sacred offering. So just sit back. We've got all of the collectives and all of the beings in Gaia with us, and all of our many celestial helpers and our beautiful alignment beings that are assisting us being reborn. But we also offer private intuitive coaching and healing sessions. So be sure to check out our website. It's ulwhc.com. ulwhc.com, and we offer a full range of intuitive readings, healings, spiritual coaching. If you feel that you're connecting with new synchronicities and inspirations to begin branching out, but you're not sure what to do next, or to clear any Akashic blocks, everything that I've been through and gathered and culminated from all the realms and all of the years of my ascension work. I'm very happy and excited to help those that so desire with energetic healing in the Christic vibrations of our new earth templates, becoming new earth light bodies. And so in that, been moving through some really incredible awakenings and experiences, so you'll sense a difference in my vibration, and I'm really being conscious and practicing slowing down and being the essence of presence. And so we're in a very beautiful, very powerful full moon, and it's a lunar eclipse today. So feel free to inspire ceremonies on whatever you feel guided to do and create. But what's been coming to me is this full moon is the full moon in Capricorn, and we all know the very powerful energies that Capricorn offers us in our evolutionary process, and why it's really important that we pay attention to where we are celestially in the sky, the energies of our cosmic universal omnipresence, the exact minute to that we were born, and all things being aligned allows us to understand, especially the acceleration of these cosmic and galactic shifts as our universe shifts up into a new universal ascension, because we're all threaded in that micro-macro experience. And some very profound, the beautiful blessings of becoming are releasing and awakening and ascension. We use varying words because they're vibrational. We're hoping to expand our consciousness and our collective through these vibrational offerings. Our soulful becoming is that growing of the presence of our essence, that we are a source. And it requires, as many of the light masters are reminding us, is to slow down. I'm just noticing all these bushes working in tandem as the wind blows, which is going to be synchronistic with what our offering is today. The understanding of presence is so important, and me absolutely coming forward as a go-getter, a doer, and totally enjoying meditation. You know, I could sit for hours and hours in meditation when I was first awakening. But the last year and a half has been quite different, because it's been such an acceleration and so much healing that I've been in this very stretching experience, so that having all of my energy to focus on the healing process, and I've been moving through this story of pulling all of my energy into the healing process, and now I'm moving back into just soaking within the universal energies for expansion, because the healing process and the karmic energies and the residue, the cycles of density, for me, they've been telling me that the worst is over. It's going to be fun from here on out, and this is the whole point of our evolution, is when will we awaken to the point that, when will we awaken to the truth that we are meant to be joyful beings, we are meant to live as joy, and that is the essence of source. It's the undercurrent and the fluid movement that is source of all creation, that creates worlds. And the ego mind has taken us out of that because it's been do, be safe, get this, get that. This is what you have to do to survive. And all of those energies that are just, it's not working anymore. I'm so exhausted. I'm just going to sit and be, you know, and this is where this essence of being is far more efficient, far more powerful, because it allows you to remember the flow of who you are becoming. And at every evolutionary stage, there is that, you know, the awakening, the integration, the seeking, the exploring, the experiencing of it, then just sitting back and being that essence of the flow and growing within it. Experiencing yourself as that reborn energy that is, you know, flow and peace. And because of what I've been moving through, and this such a beautiful, incredible experience with all of my bodies turned on and all of my sensings turned on, I'm very, very, very aware and very heightened to energy. And so, you know, and I'm going through all of these shifts and all of these, and it's brought those psyche imprints and those psyche wounds to bring forward to be healed when it wasn't safe in all of those woundings that we've often talked about. But what's more important than that, now I'm looking back on it, if I had known just to soak within the presence of the energies standing within your oneness with source, all is available, all is potentiation, and let go of the reaction that the multidimensional bodies move through as you're awakening to the heightened senses of all that you are and everything around you, because we are, and everybody will be, awakening in an environment where not everybody is at the same vibrational level. And that's when you begin your intuitive sensings start to pick up energies of imbalance, start picking up energies of aggression, start picking up energies that are not comfortable. But what my experience has been, so that I'm able to come forward and teach it, is that the bodies, because of how we've been entrained and the conditioning of the human experience, has been fight or flight. And we've offered it in many of our experiences and our offerings of Ascension. But now I'm feeling a completely different, I'm being guided very purposefully to slow and be efficient in the presence of expansion. And that is absolute presence. So slowing everything down so that that moment can be expanded and you become the all that it is. And it's a very multidimensional experience. There's stories being offered in what we are talking about. And that releases those triggers that feel reactive. And then you can allow those energies to flow and stand within that higher self potentiation and just allow all things to be and redirect your energy in that presence. And that's where the masters had earned that presence of peace, center of the warrior, if you will, because that warrior is not moved and you know, fettered by anybody or anything. It's still and present and peaceful, and it's an energy of being. And you grow within that being because you stop time, literally, because there is no time. It's just our illusion of it. We manifest time so that we can, the brain in its linear capacity understands experience. However, that is being lifted. That's a part of the human limitation and conditioning of separation. Everything is now. And what they were showing me this morning is that we're all tying this in because this beautiful full moon is a vibratory activation. It's called the honeymoon. And I always take things farther and deeper and wider so that we can enrich ourselves within the shamanic story of who we are through the cosmic, galactic, universal omnipresence, macro, micro experience of who we are, that we are harmonizing ourselves. And we've talked about this for many years, culminating and harmonizing within many tribes within our cosmic, universal omnipresence. And it's been a topic of mine that I've talked about in my radio shows and in my books about the cosmic regathering of the 12 tribes becoming a 13th tribe. This 13th tribe will be the genetic, the genetic coming to life and harmonization of all that we are as omnipresent beings. Our DNA coming from many, many different planets and horizons. And this honey full moon for me is very is entangled with the sacred geometry. It's entangled with the presence of the queen bee, which is an energy that I take on to harmonize vibrations of a grander collective and bring it into a harmonic resonance of unity and oneness, and all working together and all harmonizing as one within this hexagon of sacred geometric life experience. And in doing so, those vibrational harmonic songs are slowing down and becoming more present within the grander harmonic song that is Source. If we're held within the older vibratory energies of patterning and conditioning, and it's very easy to do, and that's been the most challenging for me to break, is I'm absolutely aware of it, because I sense when the triggers in the psyche and the fields come up, and it for safety factors and reasons, we end up resorting back to the old conditionings and behaviors, whether they're addictions, whether they're vices, whether they're behaviors. It doesn't matter what we call it or how we dress it. They're just those comfortable energies that allow us to feel safe in that moment. However, it's all illusory, and when we flow into the presence of who we are being, that is that separation illusion that is the reunification and the healing of all that we are coming into our fullness and being reborn again. And it's a constant evolutionary experience, because we'll always be continued to be reborn into greater cycles. But those illusions keep us separate from our allness. They keep us separate from that feeling of divine inner peace, of that divine oneness, of that divine allness, and moving within the song that is Source. As we've talked about before, that sound and vibration is so very pivotal. And we can revert it back to the honeybee, if you will. The honeybee is one of our most powerful, magnificent, magical creatures on our planet that's required for the evolution of humanity. Whether we talk about it from a nutritional standpoint, or we talk about it in the essence of what it offers as a harmonic vibration. That in of itself allows us to really soften and slow down within our day-to-day moments, if you will. Really, truly soften and slow, so that we as harmonic beings can understand that vibrational offering and become one with it. And we're giving the honeybee as an example. Slowing down and being that presence allows you to harmonize within the oneness that is all Source. We're giving that as an example. However, Source is within it and all things. But it can only be felt and expanded within through presence. Presence is it's the harmonizing of love in all moments, and that harmonizing and that love is a song of that light language being touched and felt and molded and offered in all moments and all things. And so what they were offering me in this beautiful experience of my own personal rebirth is that you've done so much growing and healing and shifting and changing, and as an old soul, now ready to experience yourself as a playful being. The healing and the drama and the traumatic energies that you've cleared and healed are now presenting you with a platform where you can expand and slow down in the process of really exploring who you are as this magnificent infinite being. And because the past year and a half has been so challenging in the healing process, I haven't had many of those moments of the heaven within experience that I've always known and I've written about throughout my awakening, and I knew as a child. These magical energies, the knowingness without wavering, without doubt, as my name is, the heavens and miracles and the majesty of Source Creator is absolutely a very real vibration in all life, in all evolutionary creation. And it's been something that I've come with as a knowing, and why I behaved and had the life that I have, always awakening me, my soul and my higher self, and the creation, always reminding me with synchronicities and awakening me, and all of these miracles that have been, flowered all around me, to continue this evolutionary knowing that there are far grander harmonics of experience. Sorry, my cat's just getting into my candle here. There's far grander experiences that will allow us that reunification of slowing presence. That slowing presence is not, is the most efficient evolutionary experience that we have as beings of creation. And why? In all other higher vibrational realms, there is no time. There, it's not their understanding. It's not required. It's required in our vibrational density, because it's how our mind has been able to explain and understand our experience through density. It's not required. It's just an illusion. Time is an illusion. And so this slowing and being present with the song of source is really, really powerful to allow yourself to expand into new potentiations. Expanding into new potentiations is the slowing of all that is life, and being present within every aspect of its offering as source. And it requires that we bring all that we are as a consciousness being into the center and creating that oneness and harmonization with it. And it's just like a relationship, if you will. If you take, whether it's a bee, or a tree, there are vibrational harmonics of source within those entanglements. And how are we allowing ourselves to slow and expand within the presence that is love, welling and spiraling within it all, above, without, as above, so below, within it all? And how can we become one within that presence? Harmonizing the collective oneness within that song, then therefore expanding the light and the song within it. And that's what's really important at this time of new becoming and new creational experiences and new templates of light. Because light is a living movement of song with source. Are we present with it? Are we aware of it? Are we awakening within it? Are we allowing ourselves to slow and soften and expand within it? And it takes mastery and focus to do so. Because as you're in meditation and all of those things come up that worry you and pull you off and want you to, especially when your light bodies and all that you are awakens, because it's always present, especially if there's a lot of people around you or you're not clearing your fields. And that will be the challenge for humanity and all of the light workers that have been awakened for some time, is to assist humanity in moving through the new vibratory experience, because we're living vibrational beings of energy. Everything is energy, and we are awakening to ourselves as being that, physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically. Therefore, my cat's playing. Therefore, it just got me off track. He was having fun. Therefore, it requires that we align and allow. And that's what I was telling you earlier. The bodies will be triggered. The mental body will be triggered. The emotional body will be triggered. The etheric body will be triggered. And those of us that have been awakened for some time have been moving through these more expansive subtleties of the multidimensional bodies and sensations of sending and receiving information, along with healing the bodies and the psyche wounds within all of that. Because it's all one, it's all connected. We're accelerating in ascension. Everybody will be awakening to this. There's no doubt about it. So how do we allow ourselves to open up into these higher vibrational, higher learnings, and who are we, what we exist within, what exists within us, so that we can just soften and allow the presence of source to take care of most of these triggers that the woundings and the soul clearings will alert us to. Because it's allowing us to say that there's something within you. There's a vibration within you that is not in alignment of source's song. And that's why we get triggered. Essentially, that's why we get triggered. Every soul comes with its themes to work through, transcend, and heal for the collective whole, because it's all about oneness. It's all about reunifying with our oneness as source, with source, all that is. And each person has collective soul blueprints that they come with to assist with this collective healing for reunification. That reunification allows for the higher consciousness in and of itself to continue to harmonize into higher light programs, continuing that oneness of love, that oneness of light, that oneness of all that is benevolent, because that's the expansive element of love. It's evolutionary, it's continually expanding. And as we do so, all that we're moving through will allow us to expand and reunify into our allness. However, the ego and our reactions pull us back into those patternings and habituations for, safety reasons, which are illusory, and keep us from that softening, expansive presence. and why it's really, really important right now. Because our accelerations and the energies that we will be offered from the planet from above and below, and all of your DNA triggers and all that you are going to be activated with these heightened accelerations, will continue. And we're being offered, as we have been through our global collective experience with the pandemic, to alert us to slow down. You know, what are your values? How may you reflect upon what's happening in your world? What contribution and patterns and behaviors weren't working? And how can we awaken and soften within the presence that is love? This is a song moving in and without us in all things, all moments, and expand and soften within and ride the wave, harmonize with the wave. And that is that presence of being love, loving song, flow. And why so many of the divine beings and divine, energies are channeling. When we receive those highest communions with spirit and with source, it's always about centering and being present, because that allows you to open and soften, releasing all resistance, because those triggers are the resistance to your whole magnificent source self. And why your body turns on, to see that what in my environment can I harmonize, what can I move away from, or how can I perceive it from what my energy is offering, that I've attracted that in. That's why we have all of these multidimensional energies of systems. For many reasons, they're beyond what we know, not only for the gifts and to help others, but we're understanding our environment and at a magnitude that's never been experienced before. We've never been through this. So how can we open and just flow with this, so that we can be the harmonic song of wisdom and intelligence with Gaia, so that we can be the harmonic song with the flower? Because as I've been shown and as I've known and as I've experienced, as we mentioned in our article a couple of weeks ago, is that as we're opening to these new experiences of these multidimensional communications, if you will, our essence is a being of communication. We're light vibration. We're a song of source. Light is communication. Light is love. It is a flowing song of wisdom and intelligence that always desires and aches to evolve. That's the soul living through light and love. It is light and love. It's an expansive harmonic song. So too is all else. So these receptor skills, these receptors and sensory mechanisms within our multidimensional allness will be peaking and triggering us at various levels, based again on what your soul has come to clear, cleanse, transmute, and heal for not only your soul and your souls and your oversoul, and so on, but for the collective. Because in doing so, we each come forward with these beautiful remembrances of our oneness, our harmony, our oneness with source. But it does require that we slow down and stop time, if you will, because when we slow, we become and we realize that time stops. And why so many have those time anomalies, if you will, when they're in those higher consciousness states. Because when we're in higher consciousness, we release the illusion of time, and we can shift time back and forth. We can heal wounds from the past, if you will, because this now moment is where all healing and creation and evolution occurs. But how present are we in the moment? How present are we with presence? That's the question. And why presence will be so very powerful in light workers' ability to help and assist those that are and will be awakening, especially those crystalline and crystal children, if you will. Because they come with such heightened experiences, and they have been conditioned at a very early age not to meditate and not to tune in with themselves within, and to be guided into slowing the pace. It's been a reality of conditioning of go, distract yourself. And so our global pandemic was an initiator that we had co-created at a collective level, also harmonizing with many galactic worlds that were also harmonizing through healing. Because remember, it's a micro-macro experience. So what we were healing on this collective also threaded to and was assisting in healing of all other collectives that we are all sown in. And we agreed at a soul level, these were one of the experiences that we were going to create so that we would awaken. We would awaken to the deeper energy and idea of who we are, these concepts of beingness, these concepts of essence, that we are as source, and how we co-create and how we evolve in a very purposeful and loving and unified way. So our awakening in our presence of who we are as oneness with all life is that oneness with all beings. And therefore, the issues that we see within separation in our world and our true being of diversity becomes much more of a living essence. You know, we don't have to seek a program to implement it, because we always have been. We are the flowing song and movement of Source Creator. We have never been present within it. And that's where we're awakening to say, well, what are my values now, and how can I soften within who I truly am and what exists within me, and why I'm feeling these triggers and synchronicities of life, the song of life showing you, because your sensory bodies, you are awakening, and your higher self and your soul is saying, there's a synchronicity right there we've created for you. Can you be present with it? Can you slow down, expand who you are in it, and feel the love of Source and feel the love of creation speaking with you, singing with you, being with you? Can you allow yourself to surrender into the song of Source and expand within it? That's how worlds are created. Every consciousness that each and every one of us have, as we expand within the beauty that is that experience being offered to you through your higher self, your soul, showing you whether it's a flower or a bee or you know, a child's laughter, if you will. They're all co-creative moments of presence at a higher consciousness level that you in this physical body is higher self showing you. Are you being present with that miracle? Are you being present with that miracle? The more and more you are in alignment of your higher self, your soul presence, living as your higher self, harmonizing with your higher self, your allness, you align with greater and greater synchronicity, or what has been termed deja vus. Those deja vus are that momentary connection that you are in alignment with who you are as that source song. Presence. You are presence with the energy of love in all things, Source. And that is the movement of Source. You know, the energy that can be felt, and you're sending higher loving thoughts to someone across on the other side of the world. Source is now instantaneous. That's what we're connecting with. That's those moments of evolutionary oneness that we are all here seeking. We're all here to allow to live through us. We're all here to be present within it and allow the gifts and creation to be this ever-flowing presence and movement and slowing within it. So I've written down a whole bunch of notes here that are going to go in alignment of understanding what this full moon offers for you individually, because everybody will have their own unique experience and what their soul wanted to experience in this beautiful, very special full moon, and how it allows us to, you know, harmonize within slowing down and being present with what's happening within you and what's mirrored in your collective. How can you expand within the essence of unconditional love and oneness, and then begin this new harmonic allowance? Surrender with Source. And as my bodies were awakening and moving through this really big shift, rebirthing more of my soul self. And it's a very sacred and elegant process. And it really requires that you become present with it. Really managing the, not managing, but, well, we'll say managing, but the mind will automatically think in old world terms. We say manage in the flipping upside down, that the soul is now managing the flow of life. And that's what we mean by manage. The physical and the ego surrender into the soul, and the soul expands. I sense it as a feeling. So this is why I say the words that I offer, because it can be felt if one so chooses. When you soften and surrender into your soul, the soul comes forward and you feel this expansive movement of Source, of love. And therefore it then begins to co-create your reality. The mind is there to focus and with just be in presence, that focus of presence. That's the mind. It can then therefore assist you in, seeing colors in the green of the lush land, and the mind can assist you and the imagination can assist you in that. But the mind is for that honing presence of energy. And that's that mastery level. And that's why we offered earlier that the masters knew, regardless of what was going on around them, their fields and their presence was that tool that allowed their fields, even though they were feeling and sensing, and why you see me often, shift and do my jitters. It's a euphemism. I'm being activated by what's going on all around me. Whether it's a car driving by or a bird flying by, those are activations or collectives that are coming in. So, but those masters like Jesus and Buddha, they were very practiced in presence. And they had absolutely every understanding. And that's why they were able to absolutely manage and sustain their body temperatures. They were able to create those miracles. It was the presence that was the alchemy of them with their environments and all things. It's very, very profound, and it's very multidimensional. It's beyond what we have words of understanding. I'm explaining it in this very initiatory introduction of mastery of the multidimensional systems, of understanding our environments at a multidimensional, expansive, evolutionary level, so that we can soften and enjoy the ride. Soften and be present with this harmonic song that can allow you to manifest this beautiful experience for yourself that is soul driven, that is soul, it's not even driven, because again, the mind will go to these old vibrations of being. It's soul navigated, is more of a beautiful, elegant word. And we'll offer some vibrations that were offered to me. And we're leveling up, if you will. The physical body and the mind, are leveling up to the spirit of the soul. Because the spirit and the soul are always, trying to harmonize all things into a higher vibratory state of beingness. The ego misunderstands, and it's been our patterning and our conditioning that thinks it's got to control it all, why there's so many imbalances and illnesses and diseases. And so what we're doing now is we're turning everything upside down to say, bring all of your presence and live from here. Create intentions of being present as source, to be present in the flowing song that is always being offered, within and without, as above, so below. You then create from this presence and mastery, and you become immediately, you can feel everything within your body. The heart rate's slow, stress is released, healing is done. And when you focus on presence with source, it's an immediate shifting in your alchemy. And so to everything around you, because you're present with that sound happening off in the corner, and you're harmonizing with it through your consciousness. This is how we raise the consciousness of the templates that we are and we walk within. You're honing yourself through that soulful experience. I'm saying this because I can feel it on many, many different levels. You're allowing yourself to be threaded out into that song that is source, and you become one with it. You're not in resistance of it. You're not in combativeness with it. You're not in disallowance of it. It's a flowing movement harmonic, and how we create new earth templates. And we also heal and allow the higher vibratory templates of who you are always being offered to flow within. And why all, people going through these experiences will experience those final surrenders of all attachment, so that presence and flow can be the experience of beingness. All the time, not just when you're in meditation. Because when you're in the efficiency of your spirit and your soul, you call all things that you need to you, and it's not efforting on anything. Not efforting to get money, not efforting to survive, not efforting to this or efforting to that. That's ego. Those are the vibrational programs and patternings that we've been conditioned to, that we're stepping out of. It's a complete flip. And why this ascension is so very profound. Are we able to awaken to the topsy-turvy experience that we've offered ourselves through our global experiences, to say, we are being shown in every way that we've looked at things completely upside down and inside out. We're now being offered to completely live within. And how can we do that in incremental, beautiful ways and become this beautiful essence of presence that has always been the creator of worlds? When Source creates, it's not like a good effort. I've got to get this done. No. The most beautiful, magical times you've had is when you've been actually present in that experience, whether it's a beautiful soulmate relationship, making love or enjoying the trees and the nature, or your child. They've been moments of complete and utter presence. I'm present with you. I'm absolutely present with your vibration. I'm present with your soul. I want to be present in this vibrational flow and offering. We're connecting a source. We are one. And that is the elevation of our human collective potentiation. And so they were also giving me the shamans, the beautiful collectives that I connect with. And they were saying that our understanding and how we perceive things are beginning to step out of those old paradigms and perspectives, and how sometimes our symbologies and oftentimes when the symbologies that many have offered on our planet of animals are still from those patterns of limitation and separation. And so they were showing me that the eagles, when they fly and they covet the land, if you will, they're always being seen as such predators, and that's what they do. But as you see, that our shift of potentiation into 5D is about our perceiving from a higher expansive level of oneness, that presence. Each and every person that would see an eagle hover and covet and purvey its land, if you will, would see it and perceive it and experience it in 100 different ways. And that's meant to be. But we're now being offered uniquely new perspectives, if we so choose, because it's always free will, that are symbolisms of nature, perhaps that eagle is allowing. And what I was shown is that eagle is the caretaker of the land. That eagle is moving in its presence about song and sound and movement of the energy of Gaia and who's doing what, and allowing it to be not in a controlling understanding, but to, as Source Mother Father do with us, watching and caretaking the energy of the land, and why its wings are so massive and expansive. And many native cultures knew this. And so when the eagles saw things that were out of alignment, or they saw things that were, there would be certain movements in the bird that they would study and they would be aware of. And they would move in synchronization with those birds. And they learned so much from how nature had moved about and watched and caretook the land. And it had nothing to do with the idea of predator and prey. There is a sacred vibratory language. And so how may we expand who we are within, being one within this harmonic song, and understanding the intelligence and the elegance within all life? When our consciousness raises a certain vibration, there will no longer be the idea of predator and prey, because those are concepts of limitation and separation. We perceive our world into being. The world in its physical structure exists because we have at a collective co-created, as we offered before, that if our collective said at a collective soul level in our higher consciousness states that we desire an earthly experience that has 2 moons and a purple sun, then our collective would co-create that experience as a physical experience. So we are creating the physical experience. And I've absolutely felt it in my awakening that before my whole body's awakened, all of my subtle bodies and my subtle energies and all of my gifts had awoken, I was not aware of, at the everyday waking experience, of the energies that were the collective level energies, because it was so, there was so many different energies that I didn't have in my everyday array. They just weren't. But those are also for my individual soul healing as well, and why we're doing the clearing that we're doing. And that's why your subtle bodies come on. Well, what's mine, what's not mine, and learning how to stand in your own light, stand in your power, set boundaries so that you're not taking on those energies that are disruptive and throw you off balance. And we're going to do a separate video on that, because it's really important to understand the concept of infusion and how you infuse with others' energies and it throws your energy systems off. And that happens in family cycles and close friends, and even when you're at schools and things like that. And those pillars of light are offered, those of us that have come forward as light workers and awakeners, so that we set that pace of light to help harmonize and balance all other energy bodies that might be going through density and clearing. But it's really important to understand so that you're not being thrown so far off and into a spiral of depression or a spiral of addictions, because it's not understood and it's not talked about. And oftentimes people experience these experiences because they're so empathic and they're so heightened in their awareness that they're taking on things that aren't even theirs, if you will. But they're like sponges, taking on the vibrations and thought forms of others that are not theirs. And it becomes, depriving themselves of their purity of their soul because they're so oversaturated and they're not being cleared and taught how to stand within their light and set those boundaries and to not take on thought forms of others and to say that doesn't belong to me. And it's misconceived because of our duality experience about negative and positive energies. And it can be just like going to a fridge and you either pick a chocolate cake or you pick an apple. One will serve your body and one won't. And so when our bodies are sensing and being a vibrational field, if you will, there's something in your field that's attracting it, oftentimes not by choice because you oftentimes live with people, and they're your family, but how to stand within your own power, how to create sovereignty, how to understand sensing and feeling energies that are uncomfortable and how to harmonize it and stand in your light so that you're not compromising your strength of light. That's what I've moved through, and it's been a powerful, powerful lesson been one of my soul lessons is standing in my power as a divine feminine and coming forward and being this creative offering of light, expression, and intelligence, honoring my wisdoms with the land, honoring my song with the land, honoring my song with the heavens, and harmonizing it as my new self, my new soul. And to assist others in honoring their sovereignty, to create and remind themselves of their sovereignty and to stand boldly within it. Because we will be offering a world of many vibrations and many collectives. We are the 12 tribes becoming 13, which means that our lessons here are oneness. Our lessons here are overcoming separation and remembering. It's not that we have to call oneness in. It's always been us. Our genetics are from many different realms and many different worlds beyond what we can imagine. So stepping beyond the boundaries and limitations and flip side so that we perceive all that we are as a soul as one, this harmonic song that's always moving, and we become present within it. And so the flow is our new mastery practice, if you will. And so allow these vibrations to soften within your divine sacred heart and see how it feels throughout your week and throughout your day. Sacred elegance versus ego action. So sacred elegance is allowing yourself to surrender fully into the flow so that you're harmonizing and magnetizing abundance, you're harmonizing and magnetizing soul tribe, you're harmonizing and magnetizing those that can assist you and you assist them. It's a flowing harmonic. You're not having to effort anything. Effort is ego. And so allow yourself to harmonize between those vibrations and really feel into, because you can, you're a master, feel into the vibrations. Am I a sacred elegance? Am I feeling the vibration of sacred elegance? Because that's source. That's the flow of Gaia. That's the flow of all that is. It's the flow of love. You don't have to try love. You don't have to force an effort love. Love, expanding love, consciousness love, requires that we're constantly harmonizing energies and understanding one another unconditionally, expanding and loving and wanting and working out. That's expansive love, and that does require those constant harmonizations. It's not saying that there will never ever be things you're going to be harmonizing, but it's not effort. If you have to effort a love connection, then that's where you have to reflect, is this sacred flow? Because you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the difference in the food that you eat. Is this a sacred elegance? Is this flowing with me? Or does it feel, my tummy gets bloated and, so feel into, is this a sacred elegance? Am I being in the flow of who I am as my soul, as source, as love, as this beautiful harmonic song? Be present with it. We're birthing into new sacred sovereignty. So now that we understand that this separation has allowed us to live in limitation, subjugation, and fear, standing in that sovereignty releases all of these illusions. because fear is an illusion, separation is an illusion, limitation is an illusion. We are infinite beings of source. We are magnificent in our healing, in our capabilities to co-create, to invent. We are source. So how may these sovereign knowingness, it's a truth, we've always been sovereign. We've never practiced it. We've never been told because of the patterning, conditioning, and systems that we've come to transcend, expand. And so this is a new birthing, and it requires our presence. Am I being present with my sovereignty? Am I feeling the presence? Yes, I can feel my presence of my emotions right now with the trees outside. My presence with all of the souls and our archangel collectives that are with us right now. I'm feeling the presence of my heartbeat and source lovingly. What's that word? Massaging, if you will. It's the only word we have, but it's not it. This collective experience. Keep bumping this light that I have here because the lighting is so poor. And so allow yourself to know that when you're in this presence, it's the beauty in harmonization of all, and it's made anew. So when you become present with something, you're harmonizing and you're making it new. You just are. Because when you're not present, you're not harmonizing with it, it's not becoming new. And that's those de-evolved states. And this becomes your cells, your organs, all that you are, mind, body, spirit, and soul. How may you harmonize into the higher mind, presence, where we invent and we co-create at a higher vibrational level, not always seeing it from those standard limiting perspectives. And that is honoring the presence and the flow of love and living light. Living light is love. It's the song of source. It is source. And it's always benevolent. It will always show you the easiest, highest path, releasing all resistance. And it's a surrendering process. Allowance, flow, presence. And you feel your relationships become richer. You become richer. It's an enrichment process. Our world is becoming enriched by our consciousness, our presence to who we are as the living song. And it requires that we slow. It requires that we reflect upon, well, I'm present with my body. I'm releasing all fears of the illnesses that I've had. And I'm going to become present with the healthy cells that I can manifest. And I'm going to create new cells. And I'm going to be in complete navigation and soulful management of my inner clock and my aging process. And I'm going to have the acceptance of who I am as spirit instead of aging. Because when I accept myself as spirit and I'm present within it, there is no aging. I can do whatever I want within the systems that I have, and I can manifest new systems. Because our systems are constantly regenerating. How are we managing and manifesting the brilliance within each system? We're the masters of it. We become present and we correct all that was and that will ever be. Our evolution is so very important to who we are as evolutionary beings throughout all time, if you will. Our understanding, if you will. So surrender and become the effervescence of presence. So we often think, again, we're flipping everything upside down. We often think that when we slow down and we slow the void, if you will, it's all micro, macro, it's all within and without. We often think that the presence that we have is going to be slow and there's nothing gets done. That's quite the opposite. Because when you slow and become presence, you become far more efficient because you're allowing that flow of source creator to call into you exactly what you need. Your vibration becomes magnified as source. And that is all that is. Source is allowing you to bring into you that brilliant creative partner that you want to co-create something with because you're present within the vibration of all that you are as source, not being half here and half there or here, 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 and here. You know, people like me, my mind was everywhere. Are the kids being taken care of? Is this being done? What am I going to get for groceries? I mean, that's the ego patterned conditioned life that we are all living. And it will really evolve at a very slow pace. You know, even if you have your highest intentions to become an awakened person, because those are not present moments where you're slowing all down to co-create as source. It's far different and it's far more efficient as you awaken. I'm just gonna let my kitty in. Come here, Coco. Come on. One kitty in, the other one's out. And so allow yourself to surrender. Surrender all the time. Surrender is the ego to, key, like the engine, except again, we're flipping it upside down. When you surrender, you just slow everything down and you stop. You surrender into the flow that is source. Allow your presence to be all that you are. You are allness, rebirthing itself. And as again, we said earlier, that when we become present within allness, we expand that allness, we expand who we are, we grow it, we become new. And so that's what they were showing me about that. And it's not manipulation. Ego manipulates because it's a safety mechanism. It controls time, it controls our understanding of time, thought. It's all an illusion. We say these things because they're all illusory, it's not real. It's the patterning, it's the conditioning of the mind and the psyche that we've come to transcend and surrender into spirit so that we can evolve and grow. We say grow, it's not the most accurate term. So evolve and just flow as the essence. It's much more soft and elegant, and it's not a make work or end state, because it will never be an end state. It's constantly flowing as source. And it's a loving harmonization constantly, just as you have a soulmate relationship. Those soulmate relationships, they come into your life to expand the soul at a heightened soul vibrational level. It doesn't mean that there won't be things that you have to ever harmonize to stretch each other out, evolutionarily speaking. Just as soul tribe work together, and they're brought together through the higher frequencies of source creator and their souls, so that they can allow one another to stretch and activate one another. Each person in that soul contract will activate one another to stretch and expand for what one another needs and requires, all done at that higher soul co-creative experience and soul blueprint contract, if you will, done at the highest level of their soul prior to coming here. These are the things I want to work on. We've had many lifetimes together. Would you like to have a contract with me so that we can allow each other to expand on what you need and what I need and come together and continue to harmonize? That's evolution. Not fighting and efforting. Those are karmic relationships. And that's why it requires many karmic relationships till you're healing all that you need to heal, stand in your sovereignty, and begin co-creating at higher vibrational levels, so that you're always challenging one another in harmonic, loving ways, so that you're constantly stretching out. And it's not challenges as if a win-lose, because again, that's ego, that's efforting. It's always a win-win. I'm going to stretch as you show me this, and you're going to stretch as I show you that. That's evolution. That's the loving surrender in our oneness. We are all one. We're all one. It's all oneness. It's all oneness. And oftentimes, yes, there will be those times and experiences that you say, this is no longer serving my soul's growth. I need to move out in this way. That's a part of that sovereignty too. It doesn't mean that you're not one. It means that at this point in time, my soul requires other experiences for me to grow. And I need to move in this way. And those souls have their opportunity to move in their soul's way. That's sovereignty. That's free will. At the soul level, your souls understand that there's no further growth to be done in that way. One has free will to still choose to continue with it, but it won't be in the highest and best. And when you surrender to your presence of who you are as source, your soul will show you that's no longer serving you. You need to move in this way now. And you're constantly in that surrender as the soul living through you, not as the ego mind trying to effort things and make things work. It's not meant to work. And those are experiences that each and every one of us that will move through at different ways and different timings, of course, and may not even move through if it's not in your soul experience to do so. Oftentimes, especially for me, I'm speaking in my own specific experience as a divine feminine, to co-create such experiences so that I do stand and speak within my highest truth as a divine feminine and reclaim my power as a divine feminine for my soul's lineage, for my soul's growth, for my soul's experience of standing in my power. This is what my soul requires. This is what my soul needs. I've come as a beautiful, magnificent being from many realms and many worlds. And I've held myself in experiences of vibration that have not allowed my soul to expand in the way that it creatively really wanted to, until it got to the point where my soul said, these things really truly have to occur for your soul to do what it's really desiring to do and co-create and explore. And so your soul will continually show you those offerings until you wake up in the physical mind and say, okay, I really need to move on this, because me as a soul, my health and my well-being is not being met. because you're resisting that honoring flow of elegance. When you resist it, that becomes imbalance and degradation of the cells, degradation of your higher self to what your soul truly wants. And it becomes those de-evolved states. So this is why when many others will experience those awakenings, they'll begin to understand how important flow and presence is. Because when you're in flow and presence, you absolutely know in every moment what serves you and what doesn't. Because you'll feel it. Yeah, absolutely, you'll feel it. And you can entangle with it as a choice for learning, because sometimes those choices of dissonant vibrations are with us, so that we can assist and be that pillar of light and hold space for others, and sometimes for lessons as well. But other times for your own opportunity to stand once again in your ever-growing strength and sovereignty, because you're going to ever grow and serve at a collective level, which will require that you stand even stronger in who you are, so that your truth is known in who you are and what you're here to offer and create, so that you're not being swayed and thrown by all these other energies that will want to create with you and co-create with you. And so it's really important to understand the profundity of presence. It's just powerful. And synchronicities will arise, naturally when you're in your presence. When you're being present, even if you're walking, at the beach, that presence, attending and just being present with presence, will show you everything you need to see. It comes to you. You are the vibration of source. And what they wanted to remind everyone, and just as the eagle was purveying the land and being a part of it, we are multidimensional, harmonic, intelligent, living light vessels. Our vessels are requiring us to slow so that we can harmonize with the song that is source. And why, when we do, we allow ourselves to slow the process of aging, slow the process of disease, and so on, when we're in those higher consciousness states. Higher consciousness state is presence. Are we being absolutely in the flow and surrendering with source? When we surrender with source, we have the highest universal energies of the omnipresence with us every step of the way, every breath being present. We become that sacred essence of vibration that just allows you to, wow, I remember, movement and song, and it allows you to be inspired with your unique gifts and your attributes that you're here to awaken to higher collective levels, which is part of the excitement of that presence. That presence allows you to be creatively inspired so that you continue the creative process of expansion, because that's what evolution really is. It's creative presence, and you're ignited and inspired within it and it, and it's just a beautiful harmonic experience, presence. And what this honeymoon really means to me, it's the marriage, because the honeymoon always reminds us of that beautiful phase of partnership, of union, of that coming together, the heavens and the earth coming together in this new birthing of union. It's this new harmonization of love and co-creation, and allowing one another to meld with one another. The insurgence of song that is effervescence and flowing, it just clicks, right? We've had moments of those experiences where you just feel at ease and at home and just flowing with one another. You feel like home to one another. That's the energy that is source. That is the presence of source. And how can we slow within it and expand within it? That is love. So allow yourself to be offered those higher vibrational musings if you so desire. We hope that you've allowed yourself to be presence, allowing yourself to be presence as peace. Allow yourself to be peace, and allow yourself to be love within the presence of love. Love is the most expansive energy vibration. It is all that is. And allow yourself to see how and where and how delightful your reality manifests around you and is drawn to you and is threaded through you, through the beautiful expansiveness that is this presence that is life. And connect with the vibration of the effervescent song that is life. The song that is the divine mother, that is the divine father, harmonizing you as this beautiful sacred child being reborn in the beautiful honeycomb, in this beautiful honeymoon of heaven and earth coming together. And so we thank you, dear lighted ones, for being the sacred harmony with us and our sacred soul tribe. Be sure to check out our website, ULWHC, if you desire any spiritual coaching and healing, any inspirations that we can assist you with, our Facebook and our Twitter and our SoundCloud, as well as our YouTube channels. And thank you again to Mario Gattaladino for always sharing our light work and our expressions of who we are. We're so grateful to be a part of this beautiful sacred dance, and we honor you and we love you so much. Namaste.